Coach, in the post-game press conference, you had some intense and emotional comments there. How do you feel like the team has responded over the last 48 hours?
A little early to tell, Jackson. Maybe the game. Maybe the game against Minnesota. Maybe the next match against Portland. Maybe we'll get that answer.
Coming out of that game, those and in the locker room there, you mentioned about the rivalry. How do you go about looking ahead to June 3rd when they come here? How do you go about making sure that everybody does feel that it is a rivalry?
Well, we're going to focus on Minnesota. We're going to focus on Open Cup. We're going to focus on the health of the team, the run of form, and when that day comes, we'll be ready.
Brian, you emphasized in that post-game conference what he just said about the rivalry, didn't feel like they were playing it that way. But the design of the training during the week, there's still a narrative that it wasn't a bigger game than it really was. So where is the disconnect of where you thought maybe the team should have been, and how that preparation and not making it a big game?
Well, I might not allude to everything we discussed, but we certainly discussed the rivalry, a desperate team. We messaged all of that last week prior to Portland. Now, my first reflection, Nico, was, my first feelings after the game, Jackson, I was upset. And I asked myself, when I calmed down a little bit, why was I upset? What was it? Did I really feel like the players didn't understand that this is a rivalry? I was able to watch the tape and see how the game unfolded. The sub that we had made against St. Louis at 1-0 worked. The sub I made this game didn't work. It was an Hebert's problem, it was a Chu's problem. Leo actually played well. I actually thought he was very good. Maybe my old pragmatic self would have said, hey, leave the kid on. Javi's been a good player for this club for many years. Maybe we shut it down at 80 with Javi, play 5 at the back. Maybe that was a better decision. Was I confident in the way the team was performing? Did I think we had control of the game? Absolutely. Absolutely. So there was a lot of reflection done by myself and the coaching staff as to what the message was last week. And I'm not so sure we faulted on the message. I just felt we faulted on some execution of myself and the players on the field. You watched the game. I mean, even in the first half, we had clear half chances. Clear. Second half, we started off very well, all over them. The first goal actually comes from a, ball that's turned over. Raul, Jordan, Nico, almost 3 against 2.
States.
I mean, there was a lot of unseen positives at the time that after some reflection, I'm still upset. Jackson, don't get me wrong. I'm still upset. I didn't like the outcome.
Staying on that subject, is it harder to bring in that rivalry aspect when the success of the Sounders has been so profound that maybe for Portland is a bigger game because they haven't had that international domestic success?
I don't buy that. I don't buy that, Nico. I think it's a big game for both clubs, regardless of where we are in the standings. The interesting thing about stats and standings that kind of calmed me down a little bit was if you look at this first 8 games of the year, we're 5-2-1. It's almost, a quarter of the way through the year, right? And so if you multiplied that times 4, 5-2-1, you'd have 20 wins, probably sitting on a pile of points. And so overall in the first 8 games, how would we grade our team? How would we grade the team? And I would say, pretty good. And so how do you balance what you feel and hear about losing a game to your arch rival in that fashion and understanding that you have a really good team? And that's kind of where we're at, where I'm at anyway, and that's the message I'm trying to give to the team. Be pissed off, but understand we're a good team.
Alex sort of alluded to the idea that
not that it's necessary to have a result like that, but it is a good reminder that you can't be complacent with anything. Like that, this is a team that still needs to work for everything they get.
Totally agree, and I think that I'll come back to my own reflection. You know, the game was going such in our favor that I thought we could again bring a bear on, just get another attacker on. Let's try and go for a second goal. Whereas maybe we should have locked it down. Maybe we should have just, you know what, 1-0. Let's just see this one out. So I'll reflect on that when next time we're playing away from home, and I want to make that sub.
So you do kind of look at that Leo sub as the momentum change?
No, because if you look at the play right before they scored the first goal, I mean, Herrera comes on, we get possession of the ball, we're in their part of the field. I don't think it was just Leo. I think Leo had a good game. I would say that. But I don't think it was a Bear sub that changed the game. What happened was the guy scored an unbelievable goal, gave them life. We go back down the field again, have some opportunities, half opportunities, or possession up there. We make one mistake. We've been very good this year, Jada, defensively, very good. But that second goal wasn't very good. No, it wasn't very good.
Brian, on that, was that the defense not being good just a mental thing for you?
Sure.
And did you talk to the...
Sure. Well, it's mental, but it played into they're a transition team. They cede possession. You saw the possession stats. We outpossessed them. But that's how Portland is. So we fall asleep 1 second, and they make us pay.
Was there some concern for you, or did you address that, you know, the floodgates open, that, you know, they get ahead and they keep scoring? Anything about, hey,
that's an emotional punch to the jaw, those 4 goals. But I would say that, again, is uncharacteristic of this group and this team. And at some point, I'm going to credit the Timbers. But, you know, they smacked us in the jaw, for sure.
It seemed like there was a little bit extra running today. Was that anything in response to?
We don't do punitive running anymore. That's the dinosaur days, Jada. But thank you for bringing me back to my roots. Thank
Just
you.
looked a little
I might
extra.
do it tomorrow. I might do it tomorrow.
When was the last time that was a normal thing, punitive running? Like, I'm just curious.
Back in 2006.
Okay.
Okay, at least not that far.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit though? I mean, Albert was back out there, and
Yeah.
then just kind of injury report. Christian and Josh. were obviously
That's
back.
TBD. We'll see how the week goes. He's got to pass all of. I'm not.
Which one? Sorry.
Christian's got to pass all of the concussion protocols. I'm not exactly sure where he's at today. He was on the field today, but he has to. No symptoms, then running, then heading. They test him with a couple of headers. We'll do that as the week progresses, and I'll let you know. Albert's in full, so he'll be back. Who else? Josh. He probably won't make the game against Minnesota, but he was, again, working out on the field, but probably not for Minnesota.
And then Nuhu's okay.
Nuhu's totally fine.
On Christian, I'm trying to make sure I really understand like the timeline of all that. Was it Thursday night that he first alerted people of these symptoms? It sounds like he had been feeling it, and then he got tested on Friday, or how did I'm just trying to figure out how because he was involved in training on Friday.
Yeah.
But then I assume the testing was after training on Friday.
The testing was after on Friday. That's the facts that I know of. When exactly he told our medical staff, I believe he waited till after Friday as well.
Oh, okay.
As soon as we knew, again, it comes down to, we're taking this as a learning curve. We addressed it with the team. It's a learning curve. Look, you guys' health is way more important. And if you feel anything, and it's a good reminder, you don't have to get hit in the head to get a concussion. You can get hit in your shoulder, your whiplash. I mean, there's different ways where you get concussions. And I just don't think Christian fully understood kind of how he felt. And then as soon as he gave us the information, we naturally shut him down.
And what were the symptoms that he was?
You would have to ask Cornish. I don't want to misspeak because it's
Sure.
really a sensitive subject. I know that he reported some symptoms, and we shut him down.
Going over the video, just want to get your take on what you thought of the duo and Obed, Zhao and Obed duo in the middle of the field throughout the whole game.
It's good. We've got some super talented young midfielders. I mean, it sucks for Josh because he got injured, but Obed came in and played really well. I got confidence in all those kids. Danny, plays well. Sota's another one. I mean, we had a bunch of talented young center midfielders. Very happy with that position.
Is your eye okay?
Thank you for asking,
I
Jay.
didn't want to answer that.
So I have precancerous cells that I take this stuff, and it's eating away my cheek and all the cancerous cells that are in there, or precancerous cells.
So you don't have cancer.
No,
Yeah. Oh,
pre,
yeah.
pre,
Oh, okay.
pre. And so it's just another source of irritation after a bad weekend.